All right. Hello. Welcome, everyone. Rainbows, magic rainbows. Can I make that my superpower? Like if I were to have one, that question, like if you were to have one superpower, what would it be? I almost now want mine to just be like, I can make rain. I don't know.
That's it.
Like just.
I mean,
special effect.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, let's. Anyway.
And sign language,
superpowers.
rainbow is the four fingers like this.
we as cast gamers, we can do that.
Yes. The royal.
We can do it.
Let's try that again. Hello, welcome everybody to Friday Night Cast. We are a community of applied, spiritual, and therapeutic tabletop gamers who use and explore the benefits of tabletop gaming in our work. If this is your first time joining us, thank you so much for coming along, checking it out. If you've been with us before, welcome back. We're so glad to see you again. Make sure to check us out on our socials. You can find us on the Twitters, on the YouTubes, and the Twitches here. I imagine you already found us on the Twitch if you're watching this live, or vice versa. If you're on the YouTube playback, checking it out later, come check us out Friday nights on Twitch at CASTT_gamers. Cast with 2 T's. So make sure to check us out, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Smash that bell. Those people say those things. But no, it does just help us, helps other people find us as well. If you are enjoying what we do here. If this is your first time, I hope you enjoy it. And I believe we are down a couple of people today. So Laura, I believe you're going to take some announcements for me next.
I am. We've got a few announcements today. A lot of them have to do with the Bodhana Group's Twitch. We love the Bodhana Group. They do some amazing trainings on using therapeutic tabletops therapeutically and with intention. Let's see. Tomorrow, 11:20, there's the Bodhana Cast. Watch at 6 p.m. Eastern. Watch Jack and James review games to help teachers, parents, therapists, and other helping professionals know if the game could be useful in their work and enjoy the banter of Jack and James, which I'm sure is going to be wonderful and hilarious.
Banter is a mild word.
Right.
Understatement.
On Saturday, 11:21, Table Boundaries at 6 p.m. Eastern. Discussion show focusing on table culture, safety, and consent, which are very important topics near and dear to our hearts. On 11:27 at 6 p.m., there will be Roll for Terror, a one-shot horror live play led by James Kirk and Matt Verrett. That sounds pretty cool. And then on 11:28 at 2 p.m. Eastern, it will be Coffee with Crimson, an interview show hosted by Crimson Pleasure featuring a wide array of people from gaming and mental health. That sounds really awesome too. I should watch all these things. And as far as our own programming, upcoming this Sunday at 11:21 at 2 p.m. Eastern, Gaze of Our Lives is playing Grand Guignol. Let's see. Tune in at that time for the next episode to find out if Kavi cracks the cipher, how Baco's Uncle Samuel is involved with the monsters, and if Persephone will tame the beast that haunts Ezra's soul. That's those cliffhangers. Perfect. And then next week we will be back on Friday night, same time for Kids on Brooms, since we went to weekly. Kickstarter announcements. Women Are Werewolves is still going for another 4 days. They have hit all of their stretch goals, which is very exciting. There's a glow in the dark box. I'm very excited. And to watch how the game plays, you can check out our YouTube. because Gaze of Our Lives did a special edition of that. And that's all the announcements I have for tonight. So I'm going to pass it back to Dustin.
Oh, hey, that's me. Thanks so much. So also just a quick shout out to our to the creators, game designers of Kids on Brooms, Kids on Bikes, but particularly Kids on Brooms, as that's the system we're playing here. We like to shout out and thank the creators of these indie games that we like to showcase because we're big fans. We enjoy playing them. We enjoy using them as well, and exploring some of those things outside of just the Dungeons and the Dragons. So yes, make sure to check out Kids on Brooms. You can go to their website. We'll post a link to the chat there for Renegade Game Studios. Thank you, Menachem. For Kids on Brooms, designed by Jonathan Gilmore, Doug Lewandowski, and Spencer Stark. Kids on Brooms and the Kids on Stuff system, as I've started calling it at times. Kids on Brooms, Kids on Bikes being the original, Teens in Space as well. And I believe at some point, perhaps a superpower one is in the works for Kids on Capes, or Kids in Capes, rather. So, yeah, it's a collaborative world building tabletop role-playing game that is very story forward, which I've really enjoyed in preparing and running this game and seeing what people do with it. So if you enjoy this game, check out all of those different options as well. I'm also going to shout out one real quick because I put it up here today. I don't know if it's quite in the stream here. This is Superstition. I was going through some of my zines from Zine Quest this year, and let me see. It doesn't have the designer's name on the front.
Can you show the cover higher? Like cover. There you go. Up a little bit higher. There you go.
This is a solo journaling role-playing game, Kayla. And
I'm not listening.
where you play as you create rituals to help your community, who is kind of, you work as an oracle to try and help the community who's kind of ousted you for being unique in this way and in this ability you have. So whether or not you get a chance to help the community, you decide through the game and everything. I haven't delved too far into it, but it is a really interesting game about, like, if you're enjoying some of the stuff that we're exploring here in tonight's game, as far as like creating rituals and community building and some of those things that we like to talk about. Just a fun little game you could play on your own. So I'm going to shout out the itch.io here real quick. It's ALBIL, the number 3.itch.io, if you want to check out this game designer stuff. Let's throw that one in there as well. So with that, let's jump into a quick recap from last time, and then I will throw it over to Menachem to start checking us into our play. So if you were not with us last time or don't remember everything from last time, we picked up in a tense situation in the basement of Manuscript in the middle of their ritual gone awry to help restore some of the magic into the wellspring for the coming year in Yale and New Haven. The magic had started to kind of splinter off in different directions. Ritual that's been done many, many times. However, they were not prepared for things to go awry. Eliza helped protect Jelly as they were put up a magical barrier to stop some magic. Our friend Roberts also was down in the basement, got knocked out of the way, and Calvin started to join. Jelly and Calvin decided to join the ritual And it wasn't quite enough. Our friend the captain came along and, well, took some of the magic for themselves and left. Jelly followed them through a portal, learned a little more about the captain before being stuck in a room with no magic to find their own way out. Then we had our other players head out at the first sign of some dangerous magic to safety. And everyone kind of reconvened afterwards after getting out of everything, mostly unharmed, except for one teacher who was clocked by Roberts and knocked out cold. And Calvin administered a potion to have them forget some. And we will pick up tonight's game a couple days after the events of all of this. But with that, I will turn it over to Menachem to hit you. You ready?
Thank you. Now we're going to check in. And we do this check-in in two parts. First, we're going to answer a few check-in questions, and then we're going to do our little own ritual, not as scary or dangerous as the other one. So I'm going to ask you two questions. In about 20 to 30 seconds each, answer the question, and we'll get into the magic circle of play. So question number one, it's a two-parter. We are jumping ahead several days in the story. What was your character's day-to-day life like since the events of last time? What did you do to recover and relax since then? Answer the question, then pass it to the next person.
I will go. Lexa's probably had dinner with Jelly, and has been going to classes, and who knows what else. Yeah. Here we go. Laura.
I think this question is like, we're at college. You would think that we would go to class, right? I think classes are a thing, especially since this last time kind of happened on the weekend. As far as like relaxing and recovering, I think Riley probably had weekly phone call with family, but didn't say anything that happened. And probably played some Dungeons and Quagmires,
probably
with Calvin to kind of chill out.
Do we establish what nights you play Dungeons and Quagmires?
No, not yet. But
yeah, we haven't gotten to that yet. It's definitely on my list of things to get to at some point.
That is like the one thing on my schedule to put on my schedule, and I just need to coordinate with Tim on what night we want to put that on. But yeah.
Was there any broom riding?
I mean, I don't know where we're picking things up.
I intentionally didn't answer that question.
Okay.
We haven't. We'll get there.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to know. Everybody wants to know.
Apparently,
including you and me. Kayla.
Yes. Yep.
There were some emojis I posted in chat between sessions that left some people wondering what was going to happen exactly, I guess.
Exactly. Well, with that, we're going to keep people guessing and send it to Tennille.
So what did I do? What was my character's day-to-day life like since then? What did they do to recover and relax? Yeah, Eliza had some long conversations with Calvin, for sure. I had some long conversations, did some paperwork, and she went to class and studied a lot. Um, I imagine her like practicing some magic in nature, spending some time in nature, and also weekly phone calls to her family members, just like kind of getting support to relax and everything. Yeah, and leaning on Calvin, I think, as well, for relaxation. And that'll bring it to Jelly.
I don't think Jelly relaxed.
Does Jelly know how to relax?
I don't think so, especially
Yeah.
since I heard my father's voice.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And we went somewhere. And so I was probably crunching numbers even a little more furiously than I have for a while for my day-to-day life. I went to my classes because that's important, but I probably did not relax and kept crunching numbers and obsessing about, I heard his voice. And I don't know if the game master has anything to say about this question.
I don't know if I do really. I mean,
okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I don't know where to add on that. So
but this one, you'll probably have something to say, which is, what are your thoughts, questions, or concerns about today's game? Again, each of us get about 20 to 30 seconds to answer that question. And why don't we start with the game master, since you didn't get to really answer.
Oh, sure. I was just thinking we're down a couple of people, so always adjusting a little bit on the fly. I'm looking forward to focusing on a couple characters who didn't get as much screen time as you will last time, and seeing where things go there. I'm also really excited to maybe start to delve into some of the societies and what maybe some of the inside of some of these societies' tombs look like, to get a little peek behind there as well. So I'm excited about all those things and starting to explore some of those. And honestly, the relationships, I'm loving the relationships. And I do have to warn everyone a little bit that I'm also enjoying throwing little bits of conflict in there as well, to see how that plays out amongst as we play our game and focus on these transitions. So from there, I'm gonna turn it back over to Kayla.
What are your thoughts?
Questions, concerns?
I don't think I have any. I don't have any at the moment. I'm just going in hoping for the best. That's what I got.
I messaged Kayla, I think Monday, that I was like, I just wrote a page and a half of something that pertains to your character to start off the next session, where we'll be like, let's see how it goes.
Yeah. So, yep. I'm fine. It's fine.
Everything's fine.
Toss the question to someone, Kayla.
Let's just go in the order that we did the first question. So
Okay,
it should go to Lara.
Me again. Anytime the GM has plans, that worries me. But Dustin and I had some good conversation, and I think things are going to go well by Cat. And I'm excited and nervous. He's throwing these emojis out there. It's like, I don't know. We'll see what happens. And yeah, but it's good feeling. I'm jazzed tonight. I'm going to pass things to Tennille.
Yeah, I don't think I have like too many questions, thoughts, or concerns about today's session. Eliza's been very much deep in her emotions with the things that have happened. And I'm still up for more of it if it happens. But I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with Lexa and Riley.
Oh my God. Why is everyone so invested?
No pressure, Kayla. No pressure.
No pressure. No pressure.
Oh no.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly like what's gonna happen. because it feels different not having Scott and Tim here. But I'm for the different dynamic, and we'll see what happens, how it goes. Yeah. Menachem?
Yeah. So things are going really well in my life and my business, and getting like my spiritual discovery Dungeons and Dragons groups back at the LGBTQ and our homeless youth center, and getting funding for it. And I have this tendency when things are going really well to kind of implode and self-sabotage. And I kind of been in this space for the last couple of weeks. And today was a really full day of business number crunching and personal number crunching and personal, what I like to call brave discussions instead of difficult discussion, and full in time wise also. And I just wasn't really present or in thinking about the game until just before. And so my thoughts and concerns are like, I'm just getting here and I don't really even know much about what I'm going to do for the game and how it's going to go.
Well, sometimes that can be fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, but I just like my head wasn't in it earlier to like rewrite the questions and whatever kind of things I usually do on Friday afternoon for this. So now to finish the ritual, we say our player names. We welcome each other by repeating the name. And then we say our character names and we welcome the character by repeating the character's name. So let's just take the same order. So I'd be starting with Kayla.
My name is Kayla.
Hey, Kayla.
And
Hey, Kayla.
Hi, Kayla.
I am playing Lexa Trugood, the haughty
Hey, Lexa.
descendant.
Hi, Lexa.
Hey, Alexa.
Wait, what was that second part there? The what?
The haughty descendant.
Okay, you brought descendant back. Okay, interesting.
Well,
Hey,
that's
honey.
the playbook.
That is the playbook.
Yeah.
I'm Laura,
Hey, Laura.
Hey, Laura.
and I'm playing Riley tonight.
Good evening,
Hi,
Riley.
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 Don't get your arm hurt.
Oh, gee.
Nah, I pass that on to Scott and Roberts.
Good. That's good. That's good. I'm Tennille, everyone. Hello.
Hey,
Hey,
Tennille.
Hey, Tennille.
And I'm playing Eliza Goldenflower.
Yes, you are.
Hey, Eliza.
Eliza.
Hello,
Hey,
Eliza.
bestie.
My name is Menachem,
Hey,
Oh,
Menachem.
Menachem.
Hi, Menachem.
Knock 'em.
and I am playing Jelly, who is sometimes known as TJT Gallant.
TJT Gallant.
Jelly.
Hi, Jelly.
Hi, Jelly.
Not to be confused with TMJ Gallant. Isn't that like Lockjaw or something?
Yeah.
The first
Anyway.
part is certainly.
The first part, yes.
And my name's Dustin. Hello.
Hey, Dustin.
Hey, Dustin.
Hey, Dustin.
And I will
Hi, Dustin.
be your game master this evening.
Good
Hello,
evening, Game
Game
Master.
Master.
Hi, Game Master.
Hello.
All
And
right.
with that, we play.
Yes, let's jump into tonight's episode of Kids on Broom's YaleCapades. So, Riley, I think we're going to start with you, actually.
Okay.
God.
Don't worry, he's coming for you next.
Terrified.
Remind me, for the two of you, which night? Wednesday night is Broom riding. Is
Oh.
that correct?
Hold on.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
It's Lexa has rugby practice.
Oh, yeah.
Riley goes there.
So in
and then they go
yeah,
broom riding.
and then we go broom riding at
Okay.
night.
Okay. I was realizing when I. Oh yeah. Okay. On my notes that I wrote for myself, I had to get that correct. So we're gonna pick up actually on Tuesday evening with you, Riley,
Okay.
and we find you in the library at Scroll and Key. In the library here, we see really what looks like a number of notebooks, journals, mostly on the walls, keeping these messages from past mediums oral traditions passed along through the generations here. There's a real tradition of passing things along to the next generation, done through these notebooks and journals that find the halls. We see a number of square tables throughout with a chair on each side. So 4 chairs around a square table. And we find you seated at one. Different not scrying, but medium devices here. And in your hands on the table here, you have a planchette. So a planchette, for those that aren't familiar, is a traditional tool used in spiritualism, which is kind of it's almost like the precursor to the Ouija board. So that piece, that kind of triangle shape of a Ouija board, except for it's got like 2 little wheels on it, and then a pencil. It's like a thin wooden piece with a pencil through it that you would put your hands on top of it. It would move around, and a message, picture, image, something would then be drawn, written as you channeled the spirits in this. So this was a tool that was traditionally used and is in our world here used in the spiritualism and the medium practice. Something that you've been practicing, learning since you've joined scrolling, Book and Snake. Sorry. Yeah. So you spent here. You're spending the Tuesday evening studying and a little bit of time on your magical studies and practice. So what would you like to do here? You'd see 1 or 2 other people around you. It's a pretty quiet night in Book and Snake. Most of the societies, it's a little quieter tonight, we'll say.
Okay. Riley is one of those people that's not going to go up and talk to the other people in the library. And
it seems like they're doing studies, or maybe they're doing a little bit of homework or magical studies. This is a little kind of quiet. All the libraries in the tomes in the tombs of the secret societies are a place where people can study and practice, usually pretty quietly.
I think that, at this point, Riley might know how to use the planchette, right? And is probably trying to communicate with a spirit that's been trying to talk to her.
Okay. Yeah, you've received a few messages from this spirit now as you're trying to hone your skills a little bit. There's this one spirit in particular that you've seemed to made a connection with anyway, which is, I imagine, kind of exciting for Riley to be like, oh, hey, like this is like, I'm learning something new here, right? Like they're really helping me expand and do a little more. So are you saying anything to try and communicate with them? Are you trying to make some sort of connection or get a message?
I think at this point, probably like trying to figure out who exactly they are. Right. Okay. Because this one spirit has been coming to Riley, so and communicating. So probably asking that, like at this point, like who are you? Like why are you pulled to me? What do you do? How do you try and like prepare for connecting with that? Is there any little rituals that you do, anything that you've learned, anything that maybe this spirit is connected to? One other thing I will say also that you would have learned as a member of Book and Snake now, and for everybody else also, Book and Snake is actually located directly across from one of the main, the tomb is located directly across from one of the main cemeteries in New Haven.
their proximity, perhaps, part of the reason why they have this connection, and the way that the tomb is built up to help kind of make connections with some of those spirits as well that may call that place home. So one thing that you've learned is marigolds are used. Something that is very important for members of Book and Snake is that you're taught to always keep marigolds with you, as these are flowers believed to help draw the spirits to either a shrine or an altar, or perhaps to you as you're doing this practice. So I'll say that's one thing that you would have learned so far.
Well, I was going to say probably using, like, burning some kind of herbs or whatever that Riley would have learned about. So marigold's probably involved in that. To kind of build this, prime the spirit for coming to have a discussion.
Okay. Any herbs that you learned about in Salem or home, or anything in particular? Anything that you have a connection to? Anything that you grew up with? Even kitchen herbs, things like that, would you say?
I'm trying to think. So maybe not necessarily something learned about in Salem, because this is actually something that's kind of new to Riley. Maybe had learned some in whatever herbology class they had at the school in Salem, but maybe some like rosemary or something from like kitchen and cooking and pulling that in dinners with the family and mom.
Okay. Sure. So you have a bundle of rosemary, dried rosemary that you've set up and set burning, with a marigold set next to it and the planchette here, we'll say.
Okay. Yeah.
To try and maybe get the attention of this spirit. And I want to say that maybe this marigold is the rosemary is something that's unique to you, that you've used a few times in this ritual. So, there's a familiarity there with it. So you sit with the planchette there and you're asking just kind of a general, like, who are you?
Yeah.
You almost don't really notice anything, but as you're just kind of sitting there and saying out loud, who are you? And thinking about it, getting a little bit of the smell of the rosemary as the burning of the herbs wafts up towards you. You look down and you see a very rough drawing, but from what you look at it, you're like, oh, okay, like a book? What? And then it takes you a moment and you realize it's Kayla's grimoire.
What the hell does
the symbol that's on the front? You
Wait, who's Kayla?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Lexa's grimoire. Sorry about that.
Oh no.
What does that mean? that book's back in Salem.
As you ask this next question, you see down on your page, as another message comes through, they blame us. They took our lives.
So you're one of the original Salem witches? As
you ask again, there's a just kind of warmth that comes There's no message on the paper, but you just feel this like warmth kind of come through you, like, yes, basically a very affirming sensation.
And would this feeling be a familiar feeling?
Yes, you've
Okay.
felt this pass through you before.
Okay.
When you were a few years younger.
So you followed me here. Why'd you follow me here?
As you look down, you see another message that just says, help her see the best of us witches.
Riley's got a confused face and just, well, why me? And I can kind of guess who you're talking about. But why me?
There's no answer this time. And as you kind of sit there and contemplate for a moment, looking for an answer to this, why me?
The answer that we never get as humans.
Oh, yeah, right. You're kind of sitting and you're contemplating for a minute. It's quiet in here, and suddenly you hear like a dum dum, and it kind of disturbs you for a minute. And you look over to your side and you see a notebook that seems to have come off the shelf and
Well,
lying on the floor.
I'm gonna pick that up. Knowing that there are like signs from spirits everywhere in this place, I'm gonna pick up the notebook and kind of flip through it.
Sounds great. We're gonna go over and switch now. So yeah, you have that notebook, and we'll come back to that. Lexa. Yes. Hello, Layla, also. Lexa, your sleep has been restless recently, as you've been having these strange dreams as of late. Most of them feel foreign to you. You've chalked it up to the stress of school, learning magic, the pressures of the family, feeling the need to succeed. List goes on. You've dreamt of magical portals to places you've never been, being chased by strange beasts, gargoyles, coming to life, and demon-like creatures running across Yale's Gothic campus. You've also dreamt of being tossed around in waters and sinking below the surface, waking up gasping for air. Roommates have started to get worried about you as you say things in your sleep, sometimes screaming out. Maybe it was your close brush with magic over this past weekend, or something else. But this dream feels a little more familiar to you. You're on a small island. It's dark. You're sitting on the rugged shore, overlooking the Long Island Sound with the city of New Haven in the distance. You can see the lights of the city, the warmth that comes from them, and the energy you know is there. There's a bit of a chill tonight as you can just see your breath in the air. You sit next to Riley. Your broom's on the beach, on this rocky beach. Your broom's together on this rocky beach. A tension and silence between the two of you as you look straight out towards the city. You sit for a couple of minutes here. The cold sitting in you as you think about the warmth that the city could bring right now. How nice it would be to be lost among the crowd, in the streets. The silence is broken as you hear Riley say next to you, well, if you aren't going to explain it to me, that's fine. I get it. Your family put you up to all this. I'm not mad. Well, maybe a bit. I just want you to be open with me, that's all. You sit thinking to yourself, about disappointing your family, losing Riley, losing your friends, your world being turned completely upside down, and this feeling that magic has been more of a burden than a blessing. Hopes that a life away from your family in a new place, a new city, would be a chance for a new start. But it's been more pressure than you realize now, trying to balance school, friends, grades, magic, and the societies. You hear Riley's voice again from your side as you almost forgot she was there for a moment, lost in your thoughts. Okay, well, at some point, you'll need to make a choice, Lexa. Please be kind enough to let me know when you do. You see Riley get up, pick up her broom, fly back out over the water towards New Haven. You get up, picking up and holding your broom, feeling overwhelmed with emotions, in a fit of emotional panic, kicking some rocks as hard as you can out into the water. Tears welling up in your eyes as you take a walk along the shore. Not sure where you're heading on this small island. Your thumb fingers a letter in your pocket. You look back over your shoulder and the lights of the city are gone. Think about being a kid, how easy everything was. Playing with Calvin, not having to worry about all these pressures that high school and now college has brought. A fog has settled along the water here. It was clear on the other side of the island where you were sitting with Riley. Something about the fog seems almost out of place. Your surroundings have shifted slightly. You're still on an island in the Long Island Sound. It's not the same island as when you got up and started walking. Then that's when you realize in the fog, there's a ship anchored nearby. Small forest of the island being just tall enough to obscure the view of the ship from the shore. As you squint and look out the ship, you hear a sound of water moving near you. You're surprised to find someone about 15 feet out from where you are in scuba gear, looking back at you. The glint of red and gold around their neck. That's when you startle yourself awake, and in your mind, you just have the words, the Elm's Revenge. The Elm's Revenge. You find yourself in your dorm room, early light streaming through the window. You check your phone. It's earlier than you'd like, but after the stream, you know you won't be able to fall back asleep before you have to get ready for class. Taking a couple moments to remember where you are after a dream that felt almost a little too real. You notice on your phone that it's Wednesday. Broom riding with Riley tonight. What do you do? Do you have any sort of, have you been journaling your dreams? Do you keep a notebook near your bed? Anything like this?
Lexa probably is keeping track of the dreams. Because that's kind of part of divination and stuff like that is kind of part of Skull and Bones.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I imagine she's investigating it.
So making a entry of what you remember from this dream.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to do here this morning? Or
I probably feed Shanks. And then I think I text Jelly. And then I will also text Riley to see if we are still on.
And Riley's text back is, why? Sure. Yeah. Why would we be?
it's early, mind you. Also,
Yeah.
a little earlier than.
Yeah.
It's like 5 o'clock in the morning or something.
Okay.
Right?
So then maybe that waits till Riley gets up. But yeah. Although we on Wednesdays we have
Yeah, I was just
History of
looking.
Magic, nice
Yeah.
early
So,
mornings.
I think-
So
Everybody.
I don't know the schedule actually for
Yeah,
everything that y'all
so
set up.
we keep
so.
forgetting to give it to you. So I
I'm
think
gonna drop mine in the Discord now just so you
Yeah.
have some
good
idea.
idea.
Sounds great.
I think Lexa is text Jelly asking if Jelly wants to walk to class with her.
Jelly's
then-
up.
I
At
imagine Jelly doesn't sleep much.
And but it still takes 15 minutes before you get a response. Yeah. And yeah, okay.
Great.
He doesn't do emojis and stuff.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
So we can jump forward a little bit if there's nothing else you want to do or anything.
No, I don't really. I think Lex is mildly confused, but also has like a low level feeling that something is about to happen. But is going to talk to Jelly. Wants to talk to Jelly about it. About the dream. Certainly not talking to Riley, because then that means that Riley has to, or that Lexa has to like come clean, and Lexa's not ready for that. So,
All right. So between classes, you meet up with Jelly
I think it's on the way to our first class.
on the way to the first class.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Lexa's picked up like breakfast sandwiches and is like, "Here, it's your favorite."
Eats it ravenously.
I figured you haven't eaten since dinner on Monday.
I had some popcorn.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Sure
stale.
you did. So I had another dream.
Ooh, dreams. Dreams might be communications from other dimensions.
I did
Alternate
see.
realities.
I did see was it a portal, Dustin? Is that what you said? Or portals, or
Not in this dream, but
Okay.
you've had dreams.
All right.
Maybe you've had a conversation with Jelly about like,
okay?
dude, I like dreamt about
Yeah.
this portal or something.
Yeah,
You know.
okay.
So yeah.
All right. Well, it wasn't like the last one. It was different. Does the Elm's Revenge, does that sound familiar to you?
Ellen's Revenge. I don't know. Does it sound familiar to me? Should we see about the die roll?
How about both of you give me a brains roll? I almost said an intelligence check, but that's the wrong
Okay.
game. Just give me a brains roll. We're not going to give any adversity for failing this. Let's just see
Just to see how much we know.
Yeah.
if any of it jogs anything. Okay,
Oh,
that's an 18 from
Hold
Jelly.
on. Here we go. Pull up the other
Hey,
tab.
I remember something. I came across this in my research.
A brains roll, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
I actually remembered I was rolling other dice, but I remembered I have my official Kids on Bikes dice that I'm gonna have to use for rolls.
So you have to open those.
They're open.
Yeah.
It's just a little
Okay.
blister that opens.
Okay.
Easily. I keep them stored in there.
Well, I certainly don't know what it means.
Yeah. So you don't quite, but as you're talking with Jelly, and Jelly, you don't know what the Elm's Revenge means, but you instantly are like, well, we're in the Elm City. They call New Haven the Elm City.
Right.
So the Elm's Revenge. You're like, is somebody coming after New Haven? Like what?
Or the city's revenge.
Or the city? Yeah. However you want to interpret it, but you pretty quickly you're like, yeah, we're in the Elm City.
Oh, I go off on a whole thing about
Trees.
other dimensions and messages and trees and elms and the city.
I mean, have you talked? Maybe we should.
So actually, with that roll of 18, I'll give you a little more. So New Haven is actually credited as being one of the early planned cities in the Americas. Actually, the Puritans, when they settled, created a grid that is now known as the New Haven Green, which the old campus of Yale kind of butts right up next to, which is where the freshman dorms also happen to lie. But and I'm going to get this wrong exactly, but the like 8x8 row, like set of roads that they initially set up, being one of those early, credited as being one of the early planned cities. And they planted a number of old elm trees at this time also, where the city gets its name, the Elm City.
Okay. Well, Lexa is going to ask Jelly if after Jelly says that, Lexa is going to say, do you think, I mean, should we talk to the trees? At this point, like, Lexa has like totally accepted Jelly's like ability to talk to what this dimension perceives as inanimate objects. So and I think Lexa also has that ability now at this point.
Yeah, I think we established, I was actually looking at the notes before our session, that over the summer, Jelly taught you how to do a spell so that for a short period, you could also speak with kind of inanimate objects.
I don't know if I can talk to a living.
Could we? I mean, we could try.
Things.
Do you think we could try? I mean, I think
time before class.
What time did we meet? If you were awake and I was awake, I mean, maybe we have like a half an hour before class starts.
The class is like at 9 or something.
Yeah, it's
morning class, whatever time that means.
I would say a little bit of time, like you did a little journaling, right? You took care of your animal familiar, Shanks. What is Shanks again?
Shanks is an orange tabby cat.
An orange tabby cat. Yes.
Yeah, she was just in here causing trouble. Maybe.
And then you stopped to get breakfast for Jelly, so you went to like the dining hall. So there was a little bit of time spent before actually meeting up. Okay. So basically, you have like a half hour or 45 minutes together.
Yeah, I think we have time. And then, I mean, that wasn't all of the dream.
Well,
but
more?
Well, I mean, I think Riley's gonna find out about the book. So I need to talk to Calvin about that. But I haven't seen Calvin in like a week, which is odd.
It's been a couple days since the incident, right?
How many days has it been?
I think it was Sunday. I think we did it as Saturday night.
Sunday. Okay, yeah.
And now it's Wednesday, so
a couple days.
If we did Saturday or Sunday night, but
which is suspicious.
I guess that's unusual for you guys.
Yes, very. He's also not returning my texts. But it's hard to know. Sometimes he doesn't know how to use the phone, so let's not deal with that part of the dream yet. Let's just deal with because I don't know what my family's been texting me as well. Let's talk to the trees. I think the trees is a good place to start.
All right. Do you have your broom with you?
Who from your family would have been texting you?
Oh, 100% my dad.
Your dad? Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Your dad wants to meet later this week also.
Of course he does. Great.
He's like, I'm in town this weekend.
Yeah, great. He's probably brought me the damn book. I can't escape that thing.
Does Jelly know the whole details of like the blood stuff in the book?
Yeah, I would assume that was common. I have assumed so my understanding is we were all of our families were in the inner circle.
Right.
You just got put up for arranged marriage first. So I think before you left, you would have known that was something that happens. That book is the purpose of the book and how the book is used. Yeah.
I hate this shit.
Yeah, it's
But
complicated.
does Lexa have her broom?
I have the skateboard. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna start parkouring while you skateboard.
Okay.
To the elms.
Sounds good.
So I would say, like, if again with your brain's roll of 18 for Jelly, that the most logical sense it would make to go, if you're trying to make any connection, would be to the New Haven Green, which wouldn't be too far. And we'll say I don't know where your next class is. We don't exactly have all that mapped out, but it's right near campus, so it wouldn't be too far.
The oldest elms.
Yeah. So the oldest elms. Fun fact, maybe this would be like my new fun New Haven fact that I've learned since starting this campaign. I forget which hurricane it is, but one of the more recent hurricanes, I think it was in the mid 2000s, maybe, that came through New England. One of the old trees on the New Haven Green was like uprooted. And in the roots of the tree, they found skeletal remains. Oh. So the New Haven Green, which is now like a grass area, and there's like a bunch of sidewalks that go across it, it's basically a park, was the original burial grounds for the Puritans and the settlers that called New Haven home. There's a couple of churches that are right there by the New Haven Green. And in the basement of one of them are some of the original tombstones. They actually built the church over top of it. You can actually go in there and check it out. Yeah. They relocated a number of the graves. I forget if it's the Grove Street Cemetery, the one that's by Book and Snake. But they couldn't, like, there were so many graves that they just left a lot of them there. So again, Jelly, I'll say that you would know that there's kind of magic there in some ways in these old trees and everything.
All right. We'll get there, I suppose, at some point.
Yeah.
And I'll say, hello, trees. How you doing? You're beautiful.
Lex is just gonna like copy Jelly.
We have reached a decision. You are not orcs. Anyway. So there's communicating with nature and trees is not, it's almost like if you know how to open yourself up to it or have some sort of magical connection, I suppose, and particularly in this place with there being a lot of history and everything here, it's almost like kind of this warmth or sensation that comes over you. You could ask like simple, like as you say, oh, hello, good to see you. You just kind of hear a ruffling in the leaves as like a breeze comes by, but like it's right after, like it's almost like a greeting back to you right in this spot as you're staying, right? So there's these kind of responses. You won't really be able to ask any in-depth questions to get a response, but you might be able to, like yes, no questions or something, get a bit of a response to it.
Can I climb in you?
Oh, that's a good idea.
There's a breeze for you, Jelly. There's like a breeze, and it almost push it, like it almost feels like it's pushing under you, lifting you.
Right. I will parkour myself up into the tree.
This image of you with your staff, right? You're just like grab, oddly like acrobatic, right? You almost wouldn't expect it, as Jelly tends to be very focused, very lost in thought at times. But then all of a sudden it's kind of scurry as you go up the tree.
I'll get cozy and a good crook in the branches in the trunk.
Sure. Lexa, what are you doing?
I
Yeah,
mean, Lexa's watching it happen. And it's like, I'm gonna stay down here. I'm just gonna.
There's a decent amount of height up to that first
Yeah.
branch.
I'm gonna.
But yeah, you see Jelly do it pretty effortlessly.
Lexa's gonna I'm gonna put my hand on the tree, and just say, I'm gonna sit right here, and I'm gonna sit down, and then I'm gonna look up at Jelly and say, okay, now what?
What do you want to know? What do you want to ask?
As you sit down, you feel this shifting, almost like the roots and the trunk kind of just give you a gentle hug, just like it forms around you a little bit.
Okay, I'm gonna put my I'll angle so part of me is kind of up against the tree. What do I want to? I don't know. I mean, the Elm's Revenge. Somebody was wearing had a necklace on with. I don't. Can I describe? So
Use some of the formality that you have, and your manners first.
Well, I'm describing this thing to you. To Jelly.
Talk to the tree.
What'd you say?
Talk to the tree.
Well, I was going to tell you about the necklace first.
Okay, I
forgot about the necklace.
Okay, go ahead.
There was a person in the water out by where we ride brooms, and he had a necklace on. What? Can you describe the necklace again?
Yeah, so, well, first of all, there was a weirdness in the dream. You were on this island where you and Riley often go out to, but it was it shifted. You looked back and you couldn't see the city anymore like you would expect to see. It shifted. It was you walked around this island and you were on an island, but it was different. So it wasn't the same. Just for clarification on that.
Nope, that's a good point. I didn't take detailed notes. Okay. So, but then I'm going to describe.
Yeah, let me.
Jelly also recognizes the necklace.
I'm just going to double check my notes on that of what exactly it looks like. So it's a gold and ruby pendant necklace that when you saw it, Kayla, had a bit of a kind of glow. It was dark in the water, but it definitely from underneath the water you could kind of see this glow of gold and ruby.
Okay.
Coming off of it.
I'm going to explain that to Jelly and then say, how do we ask the trees about that?
Well, you tell them how wonderful they are. And then they can pretty much give you yes or no answers.
Okay. So I'm gonna put my hand back on the tree and say, and pat it and be like, you're very pretty.
You hear a rustling in the leaves.
Do you
as this hug gets a little more.
Yeah. Do you know? Do you? I'm gonna say, do you this necklace, and I'm gonna explain it.
Sure, as you do. There's not really much of you get kind of you don't have that same warm feeling that you do as you got the hug from the tree, as you complimented it, that kind of warmness, that welcoming. It's just this kind of, there's not really much of a response, which you take to be as a no.
Okay.
You guys have been here a long time. You've seen a lot of history in this city as it grew around you and changed. Happiness, sadness. Is there something unfinished? Is there unfinished anger? or resentment.
As you say resentment, there's kind of this rustling in the leaves as the tree seems to be
Sad for you.
Yeah.
I would love to know more and to maybe try and help you.
This is just kind of, if you want to try and ask one more question, maybe.
I don't. Jelly,
I'm trying
do
to get
you
at what the Elm's Revenge is, but go ahead.
ask that? Have you I don't know how to word that. Yeah.
As you mentioned, the Elm's Revenge, Lexa, I'll say you get image from the tree, as the tree's kind of giving you this like it's not wrapped around you, but it's like it's just created this nice nook for you to sit in and you know, you can feel kind of and as you kind of have this at the roots in particular of this tree, you kind of feel over you see like the image of like branches forming together to like a hull of a ship. Yeah. Move forward. You kind of go through the day with your classes and everything. Lexa, you have your rugby practice on Wednesdays as well, and then broom riding after that. I believe that was the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Broom riding. Everyone seems to be interested in broom riding. As I was saying, there's this kind of space that the two of you have developed this little bit of a routine to getting together on Wednesday nights now at this point. My question for you is, do you ride the broom together or do you ride separately together, I guess? I wasn't sure what that looked like exactly.
Very good question.
I think like the two of you meet up on the shore, right? Like New Haven's a city that's on Long Island Sound. So there's a quiet place that perhaps the two of you meet up, and then often, however you do, either together or separately, ride out to this little island that you found where you can kind of ride brooms here in the city.
I mean, do we ride it together?
I feel like it, because this whole thing, this has been going on for a while to teach Riley how to ride her broom. So like maybe it was that way in the past, but now like Riley's riding her broom on her own.
Yeah, gotta take the training wheels off
think
sometimes, huh?
Right.
I think that's where we're at.
Because it's been going on since like summer. Yeah.
Riley, how good have you gotten? Like, Lex, I imagine like you've grown up riding a broom, right? Like you're pretty good at it, but it's a little newer for you, Riley. So like how confident are you in your broom riding?
I think Riley's pretty confident now, but hasn't said anything because she still wants to hang out. So maybe sometimes she screws up still.
Just like a little wobble here or there.
Yeah.
Just to be like, oh, gotta keep practicing, right? And yeah, so ride out together, getting together on this island, sitting down, chatting with each other.
Here, the gang is all here, except for the two that aren't here.
I don't see anyone.
Except for the two that aren't.
The gang that's here is here.
I like that.
Anyway, yes, thank you for coming back and rejoining us here as we are dealing with some technical computer stuff. You know, the
computer stuff.
You muted yourself.
Computer stuff says the guy who builds his own computer.
it was funny that you started saying computer stuff and then you muted yourself.
Then you
also,
muted
as if
yourself.
the gremlins and the
Yeah.
technology
Mhm.
decided to just
It's the
mess with us
trees.
more.
It's the trees.
It's the trees. Yeah.
Mhm.
Maybe the trees are
Yeah.
telling us to get off the computers and go back out.
I
into
did it on
nature.
purpose.
Yeah.
So let's pick up with some
Good
broom
save.
riding.
Good save, Manaka. Or was it?
Let's pick up with some broom riding. We weren't sure exactly where it cut off, but we wanted to get into the scene of Lexa and Riley as they head out. They meet up in their usual meeting spot on the coast, just on the outskirts of the city, on the Long Island Sound, a quiet little space where they know that they can be unbothered and get on their brooms, head out over the Sound. As especially this time of year, we get into November in Connecticut, it gets dark earlier as we hit daylight savings and all of that. For those of you who are not native to the East Coast here, actually, I think it's just me today. So yeah, it starts to get dark early out here, and yeah, you head out to your little. I imagine a little. Feel free to flavor this a little bit, but Laura, you were saying for Riley, there's a lot of kind of like unsmoothness, although you've gotten better. You like to kind of play it up a little bit for Lexa.
That way we don't decide to stop hanging out. Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, so take it away, the two of you, for me, so that like what do you do? Do you want to just pick up on the island as you get to the island? Do you want to do anything as you're kind of flying out there? Or?
I'm cool picking up like after we get to the island.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless like, Riley wants to roll to see how well. I mean, we can roll to see how well we ride the brooms. I would be fine with that.
Leave it up to the dice, huh?
Yeah, sure. Then Lexa can like catch Riley if Riley fails.
All right.
Well, and if I fail, it's going to be on purpose. I already established that.
Yes, yeah. There you go. Perfect.
So are you both rolling? Is this
does Lexa need to roll? She's been riding a broom her whole life.
Sure. So Riley, give me a flight roll.
An actual flight roll for flying.
Go figure. Yeah, give me a flight roll as you do this kind of feign maneuver as you like do a bit of a head fake or something on the broom.
All right. That's a 7 from me.
That's a 7. That's pretty good. I almost don't even know how to. I'm gonna roll this. That's a success, and you successfully.
I think that's Riley's second success now in this game on a roll.
But you were trying to fake like not flying well, right? So that maybe Lexa would catch you. So I'm gonna say with that success, you are getting much better at your flying, in that you
and the faking
and the faking part also. Yeah, you've gotten this down now. That at least once on your flight out, Lexa's close enough, kind of keeping an eye on you to make sure nothing bad happens, and you have this bit of a wobble. And Lexa flies over on their broom and like just grabs an arm around you to steady you and make sure you stay upright. And for a moment, you're flying brooms parallel with Lexa with their arm around you. And there's this kind of this familiarity and just comfort to have her close to you in this moment.
That was pretty good.
Thanks. I think I'm getting better. I don't know.
I think so. I mean, we might not have to do the broom riding anymore.
Riley's gonna get quiet. Just well, I mean, we can still do it, even if
Yeah. I mean, if you want
yeah.
to, do you still want to? I mean, we could do other things. We don't have to like
I mean, if you
ride
don't,
brooms. No, I do. Well, I didn't say I didn't want to.
okay, okay.
But like, if you wanted to do something else, like we could do like I don't know. What do you do? What do non-witches do? What do you do? What would you
first
do?
off, non-witches. I
Okay,
am
good
a
point.
witch.
Fair. Yeah.
Okay. That's the old Lexa. I don't on a Wednesday night. I mean,
What would you do with your normal friends?
go to Shake Shack.
We could go to Shake Shack. I'll pay for it. I've got all kinds of money. Literally. One of the items I have in my backpack is money.
That sounds good, but we could still like I'm good, but I can't do all the like tricks and stuff I've seen you do.
Oh,
so maybe
okay, we can do I mean, you want to do tricks? We can do tricks. And then Lexa is going to proceed to do like a barrel roll.
Does she still have her arm around Riley?
Why not?
Like, oh, you want to do trick? We could do trick. It just like immediately goes into a barrel roll as you're both flying side by side.
Riley's like, what the?
Riley, give me another flight roll.
This is great.
As you were not expecting.
Damn!
Oh!
It exploded.
We got a 14 for the flight roll. You managed to fly in a little closer to Lexa. You actually, rather than get further away, and you actually, for a moment, you're not sure if Lexa is guiding this barrel roll or it's you as you're kind of actually starting to pick up. We're going to say that you could do a barrel roll on your broom now if you want to.
I'm gonna put it in my journal that I can do a barrel roll now.
Yeah, go for it. Write that down. That's a new trick you just learned.
Are you sure you did? That was pretty good.
I think I have a good teacher.
Thanks. My dad taught me. It was pretty. I practiced like every night. It was pretty intense.
You've been doing this a long time too. Yeah.
Okay. We'll say at this point, maybe the two of you could land on your island there. You've been on the brooms for a little bit. It's not super far out. Like you can still see the city from your little spot there.
Okay.
That you go out to. And as you land and you sit down, there's a bit of a kind of chill as you see your breath a little bit in the air, Lexa, and you just have this moment where it's just a little too real.
Deja vu. So I'm gonna just kind of stare off into the distance and not say anything.
Well, then Riley's
gonna do the same.
Like, you're pretty quiet tonight.
I have a lot on my mind. Been a busy week.
Yeah, that party was a trip, and Jelly gone and back, and Lashes is a human. And
yeah, about Lashes. Yeah, Kelvin's probably having some very serious conversations with Eliza. Yeah. Lexa's just still very preoccupied and is a little freaked out about how much deja vu she's having. She's like thinking like, Jesus Christ, for those dreams really are like, it. I'm gonna have to talk to somebody at Skull and Bone.
Riley's probably at this point, like, it's awkward. Like, Riley's probably quiet too. Like, what do I say about what I learned in the library? I don't. That's weird. Maybe I should tell Lexa. I don't know. So we're gonna have this awkward scene with just the two of us staring off into space doing nothing.
Oh, good. So my dad is coming to town soon, or is in town. It's not really clear, but I have to go see him.
I feel like your dad never is really, right? It's
100%,
just this, like,
yeah.
He's just
it's this, like,
always coming to town.
yeah.
Well, I know you don't really want to see him.
Yeah, that's not. I mean, he's kind of a Skull and Bones like legacy, so he could just show up whenever. I
can't imagine that my parents would never show up here.
That might be
unless I
lucky.
wanted them here.
I'm sure he's gonna want me to do something for him. Should be interesting.
Riley, did you look through that book at all that flew off the shelf the night before? Okay.
Yeah.
We didn't quite resolve that. So I will say that in case this is something that maybe you want to mention or talk about, this might be something, a way that you could breach the subject a little bit. I'll leave it up to you. But
okay.
The notebook that flew off the shelf in Book and Snake as you were communicating with this spirit was somebody's notes on. Oh, let me pull up my notes here. What I wrote exactly. Somebody's notes about an island called Charles Island, and there's like a lot of different notes, and in particular, this person, it seemed a little bit older. Actually quite a bit older, this notebook, probably from about 80 years ago or so, 80 to 100 years ago, of somebody looking for the lost treasure of Captain Kidd.
Well, that sounds like fun.
Okay.
And so it's like notes on them having searched the island, and trying to communicate, maybe trying to connect with Captain Kidd in particular to see if they could find out the whereabouts of this treasure, and notes about a lost magical item that is thought to maybe belong to this treasure. So we'll say through the day, at the night and the day that followed, you had some time to kind of thumb through it, and these are the things that you picked up in it.
Okay. As I finish writing things down. So I think Riley would tell Lexa, like, because Riley's so new to all of this, especially the spiritualism and all of that. Some weird stuff, like, this is weird stuff for me. Probably not for you, but weird stuff for me going on as I've been at Book and Snake.
What kind of weird stuff?
Like I mean, part of what I'm there for, but like I can talk to the dead, and that's new. Yeah. Mm,
How's that? What's that like?
uh,
Do
it's
they
weird.
do they
They
tell
talk.
you anything?
Um. Well, so, and she's gonna leave out the whole first part. And like, this one has been talking to me a lot, and gave me this gave me this notebook, and
Mm.
in it, it's talks about someone looking for an island for the treasure of Captain Kidd, like some magical item that
Mm.
he had.
Oh.
Like, pirates and stuff. Like, this is
Oh.
this is I mean, I guess a couple years ago I would have thought that witches was made up stuff too.
Well,
But
yeah, I could
like
see that.
treasure maps, like X marks the spot, like all that kind of.
So
It said something about Charles Island. I don't.
interesting. We're not on Charles Island, are we?
No, you're not.
Okay, all right. Um, Lexa's very intrigued. She's gonna slide closer. So we're like
That's all we're gonna keep
basically,
saying.
yeah.
We're just gonna keep getting closer.
Yeah. Okay. So and she's gonna like turn her head from like looking out into the fog, and you know, that's interesting. I've been having dreams. Apparently that's a thing for people in Skull and Bones. Not fun dreams, but that's not the point. In one of the dreams, I like saw a ship and was on an island, but it wasn't this island, or was in a different area. I tried talking to trees about it, and it didn't work very well.
I met up with Jelly and talked to some trees
I mean, they helped
for
me.
breakfast.
They did help me realize that I like saw a ship, but which was fair because the dream was very confusing and upsetting in a lot of ways. So maybe, how old is this notebook?
Like almost a century old. It looks old. It's old.
And that, like I was saying, that's the thing with the book and snake. Like, it's just all these
Right.
collections of different things, like from mediums and different things that people have, like, it's kind of all these years and years and years of people's notes from what they've researched,
Well,
who they've talked to.
maybe treasure sounds cool.
Go on a treasure hunt. It's interesting. It's like we get here and the whatever magic is going on for either of us, it sounds like it's connected. Like, I think
Maybe. Possibly. Maybe Eliza knows.
I can text her. And then, but I don't know. I'll text her like the rundown of what we know and then put the phone away.
Yeah. Lexa's gonna put her arm around Riley.
All right. Yeah, as you've kind of inched a little bit closer, looking over, kind of leading in, looking at this notebook. Yeah, you put your arm around Riley, sitting here on this beach.
And is going to continue to now stare out into the fog.
It's okay. We can have us staring out into the fog. What Riley like leans in, but like they're staring out in the fog, not wanting to talk to each other about
The other stuff.
the other stuff.
Yeah, like
Yep.
it's right. Like there's this there's been a lot going on, as you said, right? There's the party, and the two of you getting out of there or not wanting to get hurt with what's going on, kind of catching up with friends afterwards, figuring out what happened, and again, all like the schoolwork, like there's a lot here, right? It's part of the pressures of being a freshman and in a new place also. So yeah, it's kind of this implied like, hey, this is I'm kind of picturing almost as this moment where we know that there's unsaid things, but just kind of a quiet moment enjoying each other's company, right?
And I think when Riley had her phone out, she did the rundown of like, here's what crazy shit's going on with the both of us. And then later it's like, I have something I want to talk to you about. Don't tell Calvin.
All right. Well, is there anything else you want to do there, or we could
I don't
move on from there?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's get one more scene in here then. Post Broom riding that evening, Wednesday evening. Riley, are you gonna meet up with Eliza, do you think? Was the two of you gonna meet up with Eliza, or is this just a Riley Eliza kind of thing?
I mean, it could be. I only have part of, like, I have
Mhm.
telephoned some of the
Yeah.
information.
Okay.
I would imagine that Alexa probably didn't directly message Eliza, so maybe it was like a group group text.
Mhm.
And I think
And then there was a separate text. But
right,
yeah.
And then I think if we all meet, I think Lexa would drag Jelly with as well.
Okay. Yeah, because you were talking with Jelly earlier as well. Where would you all meet up?
Shaky Shack.
Library. Shaky Shack.
I like the idea of the library.
Okay.
The restricted section.
I mean,
But I guess
think about that. Yeah, where would we find Eliza, and where would we have
probably
to
trying
go
to get
meet
into
her?
the probably
library.
to try to get into the restricted section.
that would be hilarious. Yeah, maybe we should do that.
I like it because then Eliza would be like, "Hold on one second, let me go check," and can't get in, and then Lexa can be like, "Here, I'll help you."
So would you be going to like the main Yale library, or did you want to go to the like rare tomes and manuscript? I forget the name of that one exactly.
Maybe
but
it's
that's more of like a research library.
Where would Eliza suggest after hearing all that information?
Yeah, I mean, does it seem like the tomes would be the right place for it, or would just like the regular library be for it? I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure Eliza would know.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, I think for what you're looking for here, well, let me ask that, I guess. What would you be looking for, or what would you want to be kind of researching, I guess?
Are they want to know about the ship? They want to know history about the ship, or they want to know about the treasure or the map? I'm not sure.
Probably the ship, the whatever magical item, treasure piece.
I've been dragged along at this time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think as they get
it
back
would be
into the
tomb
city,
then,
yeah.
right?
Wait, guys, when I disappeared, I was with a guy called the captain.
Oh.
He said they took his memory, his magic and or his memories away
Oh.
some time ago.
Who's they?
I think he was indicating the powers that be at Yale, the magic community.
Mm.
Wasn't that something similar to what the dead person told Riley?
Dead person told Riley.
Like that something okay. I'm trying to keep it all straight.
Never keep it
No.
straight.
The
Keep it
message, Riley, that you got from this this spirit who you communicated was that they blamed us, took our lives.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Right.
Okay. Separate.
That spirit we were thinking
Talking
that,
about the Salem
Yeah.
witches.
Yeah,
Talking
yeah.
about the
Got
Salem.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, the captain's still alive,
Yes.
apparently. I talked to him.
Okay. Captain. Seems like possibly something with the ship.
Yeah.
And Riley, you remember that brief bit that you caught of Roberts taking the orders from the captain, asking any more orders, sir? And
Oh, right. And I have basically only mentioned, like, I don't
Trust.
know. I told Lexa about
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah, you've only told Lexa.
that.
What did that guy look like?
And I described the captain.
The person I saw?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would be the
It
same.
would be the
person you
same
saw.
person.
Yeah, because it was that same night.
Yep.
Roberts is talking,
No, I
working with
really
the
don't.
captain.
No, I really don't trust.
What do you mean?
Captain's the guy who stole the magic.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a
You don't-
problem.
You don't trust Roberts?
Eliza.
This
No,
is
she
news to
doesn't.
me.
She doesn't.
This is news.
Okay, right
Why-
now I don't trust him because he's working and taking orders from a guy who stole all the magic for the wellspring for our school.
And locked Jelly in a room.
And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Jelly's like,
He
I don't
was-
care about that part.
I didn't know he was working for someone like that, but I definitely he seems eager to hang out with all of us. And he's older? Not
It
older
looks-
like you, Jelly, but older.
Yeah. It looked like he was trying to protect Jelly.
Mm,
okay, but he's still working with the guy who stole the magic.
true.
But did that
And asking
guy?
him, and he said, "Do you have any more orders for me, sir?"
Didn't
Oh,
he
the
come
guy-
from?
I did not know that.
The guy didn't say.
I
he
should have
wasn't-
texted you. It was a busy night.
Yes, it was a very busy night. A professor got punched. I was pretty distraught for most of the night.
Well, you should have ran away with us.
I didn't want to leave Jelly there. I didn't.
Jelly spent 7 years. Was it 7 years? In another
5.
dimension.
Something like that, yeah.
Jelly is quite capable.
I mean, I appreciate that you want to help. Okay, but the guy
I
said
was worried.
he said don't trust the people, like I guess the Yale magic schools, and he said that I should be careful because they might want to steal my magic or wipe my memory if I wasn't careful, but that I shouldn't be careful and I shouldn't
Good.
listen to them.
Did you?
Basically,
lose
basically
your
he told you
memory?
he basically said that if you don't fall in line, you're going to be a threat to them and they'll steal your memories of magic.
Mm.
But he also encouraged me not to fall in line. So he wasn't exactly evil, but he did want some sort of revenge.
Well, can we learn about the ship? Maybe we can learn more about the ship, and maybe there will be like a picture or something, and we can compare that to what this captain looks like.
You think it's the captain from 100 years ago?
I don't know. I'm just throwing out stuff.
Wow.
I know. I
Well,
know.
I mean,
it's not the way. I just don't know if that's something that can happen.
if portals are involved,
That's true.
then the
That's
time
true.
could be different. I mean, like,
could
look
just
at
have-
Jelly.
I
Yeah.
aged 7 years
Jelly
in 1
should
year.
be the same age as Lexa.
This is true.
And
I
he's
did
not.
see
Yeah.
a ship. I did see a ship. So
Called the Elm's Revenge.
yes,
All
the
right,
Elm's Revenge.
let's look for that ship information.
I think we should look in the tombs.
Okay.
I mean, that would be, I think, the best place. Because
and
there's magical
where?
items.
And it's at manuscript.
No, the tombs.
The library. Which
No,
library?
the Bernanke, I think it's
Okay.
Bernanke,
All right.
Rare Tombs and Manuscript Library.
Okay.
It's just called like the Rare Tombs and Manuscript Library. It's not in
Great.
manuscript.
Good, because I was like, I don't think some of you are gonna be able to get back in manuscript. So, just saying.
That's what charm magic is for.
I don't know if you
Although
can charm
they
the
know
charm man.
They
Yeah.
know charm magic really well, so they
Okay,
might
well-
be able to find ways.
Well, let's go there.
Yeah.
Sure, you can head over there, and for the sake of brevity, because I want to make sure to get to our checkout and everything here a little bit, and to kind of get us to an ending point. You spend a little bit of time and with Eliza's expertise in research and Lexa's connections, I suppose. I feel like there's a moment where
Mm-hmm.
you're looking for something, and Lexa, you were told that there was no Eliza. You were told that you couldn't have access to it, and then Lexa just comes back with the book, and I imagine you're like,
It's like, here you go.
we'll say this is a book about lost treasures, different like lost treasures, and the treasure hunters who found them. And so you, in doing your research, you don't find anything about the Elm's Revenge in particular. It doesn't seem to be a noteworthy ship of any kind, or have any history that you can find anyway. But you do find out about Charles Island. Charles Island being off the coast of Milford, Connecticut, which is like kind of next town over from New Haven, in a very similar area. And you also find, in connection to Charles Island, you read about Captain Kidd, who...
Is there an image of him?
Sure, yeah. I mean, you can. So Captain Kidd was a pirate in the like golden age of piracy. So I forget, like
A long
I
time
have
ago.
a book about. I
late
have a book
1600s,
about him on my shelf somewhere.
late 1600s to early
That is
1700s.
awesome.
Yeah. And you read about how Captain Kidd was kind of done wrong, basically. Captain Kidd wasn't like a pirate in the same way that we think of the pirates in the area of the Caribbean and everything. He was almost encouraged into piracy in some ways, to defend and repaid in whatever he could plunder from the Spanish ships at the time. And I forget they called them mercenaries, or like they were like contracted. Is a weird situation until he and his crew did not salute the shipmaster as they were sailing by. They fired a cannon shot as like a warning over the bow of their ship, to basically say like, no, you need to respect us. And then the story goes that they all basically mooned the officer who shot at them and sailed past. At this point, some people did not appreciate that. Much of his crew was taken from him and conscripted into other duties. And long story short, he then was accused of piracy and hanged for it. and put on display for it. And it's rumor, nobody knows. People say that he had a treasure, and one of the places he stopped was on Charles Island shortly before he was to be tried and convicted of piracy. And people have looked for his supposed treasure. They believe that he offloaded all of his things somewhere, and one of these rumored places is on Charles Island in Connecticut. So doing your research, these are things that you find out about Charles Island and about Captain Kidd.
No references anywhere to anything called Elm's Revenge.
Not in particular, no.
Okay. Is there?
So then that's not Captain Kidd's ship.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, he had a
Thoughts
couple
on
of different
that?
ships,
Mhm.
but none of those were the name of his ship.
Is there any images of the like artifact necklace I saw in the water?
I guess if you want to look for that in particular,
Mm-hmm.
let me see. Again, I'm just checking my notes on that real quick. Sure, you can do a little bit of research on that also if you want to work on that separately. After going through a number of different tombs, looking for necklaces, with Eliza's help and expertise of doing research, knowing a bit of what you saw and also what Jelly saw of it. And Eliza would have seen it a little bit as well when you were down in the basement when he came down. From what you're able to find is that it seems to be, or at least what you're able to piece together, is that as a piece of King Solomon's jewelry.
Oh.
Like biblical King Solomon?
Yes.
Okay.
This was an item that was actually
Yeah.
created by Scott, so that's
Okay.
what he put in the lure of it. So.
Okay, so
He talked to animals and stuff. He spoke the language of the.
I'm gonna take the book over to Jelly, and I'm gonna like nudge Jelly, and this is it, this thing. I'm gonna like shove the book at him.
I'll read. Hey, book, do you know who this belonged to over the years? This jewelry?
Did you ask the book?
Yeah.
Nice. Oh yeah, and that makes Lexa remember, and Lexa's gonna go, "Thank you, book." I don't think everyone knows that like Jelly taught Lexa this, so
If we're still close enough, I'm just kind of looking like.
There's this weird moment as you're all like, right? Lex is like, "This is it, guy. Like this is," and points to the necklace. That then a couple of you are also like, "Yeah, no, that's definitely it."
Mm-hmm.
And then Jelly's like, "Do you know who this belonged to?" And then Lex is like, "Thank you, book." Like very deliberate, right? Where it's not like quiet and soft. It's just like, "Oh yeah, thank you, book." Kind of looking at Jelly to make sure you did it right.
Yeah.
Eliza, you seem actually kind of happy to hear Lexa thanking the book. I don't know, like it's just like comforting to you almost, I imagine. But yeah, Riley's just like, what is going on?
Just like, I mean, Riley talks to dead people now. But it's just like kind of looks at Lexa, just a little laugh. But it's like, okay.
Or do you know where books tell more about the story of this necklace?
That's a good question.
Because I think books really only know what they know, but it might know where the necklace is also talked about. Because they probably talk to each other about these things.
Yeah.
Now I'm imagining a Toy Story, but it's the library and the books talk to each other.
You all need to read the Hell's Library series. This very much vibes. So, okay.
I mean, things talk to each other like we do.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say that this talk to an inanimate objects thing is a really weird ability that we gave your character, Menachem. So I never quite know how to rule it, and I feel like I never rule it exactly the same.
We should have an out-of-game discussion about it.
Yeah, but I will say that the book encourages you to, like, you get this, the book tells you like artifacts, like
Mm-hmm.
like almost like there's like these things are important, right?
Yeah.
So
books on artifacts. Okay. You're on. Thanks for the advice, chum.
And that I'll also say that as you like maybe kind of connecting the things a little bit, you have a pretty high brains. Actually, I think your brains is now your highest. We haven't really described it yet. I haven't really gone into the detail for you as players, but Scroll and Key has like their kind, like one of their things is they have items from all over the place, and some are magical, some are so you would know this, nobody else would, because they don't go into Scroll and Key's tomb, but especially with them focusing on portal magic, there's a lot of items from different places. Some just connect to that place, but some are magical or come from different places, are heirlooms, antiques, have been passed down through the generations and seem to hold some sort of power.
Artifacts, Scroll and Key. What a great suggestion. Thank you, book.
Thank you, book.
And then another like
Here, you could look up books. You could look up books on artifacts. Here, I'll be back.
What? Where are you going?
Scroll and Key.
Okay.
I think I have a lead.
Okay.
I wanted to ask, actually, does anybody, I forgot to check everyone's bag on Roll20 and what they established, but does anybody, Lex, I know you didn't bring the Grimoire with you. Does anybody carry any old artifacts or anything like that with them? Like, do you have any like heirlooms or artifacts or even like anything that's been passed down or anything like that?
I have the dragon's blood here.
Correct. Which still seems to be holding some residual energy from the basement.
Good, because I'm counting on that.
some residual
I mean,
magic
Lex
energy.
is totally wearing one of those like family like pinky rings.
like a signet ring or something.
But other than that, no.
Okay.
That's
I'm
not my
gonna
dad's stuff, but that's not really old.
Yeah.
I would say that I have a pocket knife that my aunt gave me. I don't really, she was just like, hold on to this. So I always keep it with me.
Okay.
I don't know if it's magical or not. I've kind of always, it's pretty old. She's had it for a long time.
Sure. So I'm going to say that those two items, I don't know if you've noticed it or not, Eliza. Lexa, maybe you did notice it a little bit, but it's kind of fainter because you weren't down in the basement too long when this magic was going all completely haywire. but you were almost struck by something, and you all like you notice that there's a little more of a glow to that pinky ring,
Okay.
and similar, very faint, not nearly as strong as you saw on the necklace
Right.
in your dream. And Eliza, if at some point you pull out that pocket knife, you may notice that there's this kind of like warmth and energy and glow to it as well.
Yeah, I don't pull it out, so I'll never know that.
Yeah, I imagine it's been in your back, like you've had no use for it, right? So you haven't looked at. Oh, you don't. You just, it's something you ignore entirely. So it's there. I mean,
Right,
should you
yeah.
decide to, stab somebody, you got it. I guess you'll find out.
Yeah.
If magic doesn't work, there's always a pocket knife.
It's always a pocket knife.
So let's work on kind of wrapping this up. We kind of maybe have a few leads. You're able to put a few things together. You learn a little more about Captain Kidd. You find out about this necklace through your research, and learning a bit more, perhaps trying to figure out, piece things together a bit. So we'll say that everybody goes their way. Jelly, you decide to run back to manuscript, or sorry, not manuscript, but scroll and key to try and get more ideas. I imagine Jelly doesn't sleep much, does he?
No, we established that at the beginning. What day is it? Is it Thursday? Is it just the next day, or is
Wednesday.
it?
Oh,
Well,
right.
It's Wednesday. This is Wednesday night, so we'll actually
it's
pick
still
up
Wednesday night.
After we did the broom writing.
After we did
after
the
we
broom
did the
writing.
broom ride. Yeah,
Jesus, it's probably like late, early morning.
I would say it's gotten pretty late.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's why I want to kind of wrap this up, that maybe you did some research. The library's closing now, right? We'll say it's like 11 o'clock or something like that. The library's closing, so you're not able to continue to do further research. Jelly runs off to scroll and key, as the research has energized you, Jelly, and you're ready to keep digging further on that. But time for everyone to kind of make their way back to their dorms and get ready. Thursday night is one of the nights that everybody's required to be in their society. And Lexa, I will say that that there's a preparation going on for a divination ritual at Scroll and Bones for Thursday night.
Great. That's gonna stress her out. She's not completely sold on the divination stuff.
Well, if it's anything like Nice House, good thing you're connected to.
Yeah. The rich, the wealthy, and the powerful, and yeah.
So we will end it there and pick up with our players next week.
Okay.
We will be, I think we decided that we'll still be playing next week, the day after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Okay.
Yeah. But first, Lexa's walking Riley to her dorm.
Sounds great. I had this idea that like everybody, like you're freshmen, right? You I would say randomly assigned to dorms and everything. So you live with just regular college students also. But I have this idea that the freshmen are all in kind of a similar area. So you could be in the same dorm. I leave that up to everybody to decide if maybe I don't think anybody shares a dorm room, but maybe you share a dorm together, or maybe you're near different people.
Yeah.
So something to think about. Like, there's one of the logistic things I didn't quite go into, but I leave up to everybody else. Aside from Jelly's in their trailer on the kind of outskirts of campus a little bit. Imagine like behind, like, did we just have like, it's like in the power plant or something like that? In the parking
the
lot,
yard where they store the plows and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Okay, that's what it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yep.
I think Eliza would like to be in the same dorm as Riley, specifically because she knows Riley's going to not stand in her way of like studying.
She's like specifically asked for Riley as a roommate so that she can study.
So she can study. Right, exactly.
That's funny.
All right, well, let's end there for tonight. Menachem, you have some checkout questions for
I
us?
do.
All right.
All right. Did your character do anything that surprised or amused you today?
I guess I can go first. No.
All that research.
All that research. Yep.
All right.
She's
Pass the question.
right within character. So
I feel like you've been out of character a lot in the previous sessions, but we
Yeah.
finally got you like in your element a little more.
Where she feels safe.
Yeah.
She probably hasn't left the library. No more parties for Eliza.
in my book.
Ever. Riley's gonna be like, oh, we're gonna go to this party and
Right.
I'm gonna stand in the corner with you. And she's gonna be like, no.
Never again.
I will pass it over to Jelly.
I was a little pleasantly surprised and amused to see how unsocially awkward Jelly is when talking to things. Right, he gets to talk to things, and it's like, oh, this is my element. This is what I did for 7 years, right? So that was really fun to notice and discover him being affable and happy, and so that was a lot of fun. I will see, Lexa or Riley first.
God,
Let's go
everyone's
for
messing
Riley.
with us tonight.
Can I just make a comment? I think it's really interesting how Jelly's comfortable talking to things and other people are not comfortable talking to things. Like it's the reverse. just wanted to make that comment.
All right, you pass to me. I think that I'm not necessarily surprised, maybe a little surprised at how like Riley didn't flinch at like, oh yeah, I'm gonna talk to dead people now and it's just a thing, but also very amused by how awkward Riley's been with Lexa. Definitely amused. And that leaves Lexa to answer the question.
I don't think I'm surprised. I think it's hilarious. I also think it's hilarious how awkward Lexa and Riley are.
It's real though. It's
hilarious. Yeah, and it's so funny. It's also not surprising because Riley is not a descendant, so Lexa's confused, also a little scared of her family. So there is a reason her and Calvin assumed that their families killed Tristan. So yeah.
All right. And follow up. How might you have reacted differently or similarly in the situation your characters were in today? Everyone wants to know. Come on.
I feel like we've got to start with Laura or Kayla on this one.
I don't think I would have reacted differently. Shit's awkward.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all ever been on a date? Or a date that's not a date?
Y'all ever been on a date when you didn't like it's different? Like you don't know if the other person like it happens in straight relationships too, but it's still like, are you my friend? Like
I don't know what's happening.
Like,
yeah. Oh look, your arm is there. Okay. We're just gonna ignore it until we can't anymore.
Much like all of Lexa's problems right now, huh?
Pretty
You
much.
ignore it until you can't anymore.
Yep. I mean, Lexa's certainly not telling Riley about the dream.
Dustin's gonna keep screwing with us.
Oh,
You
you
know that,
know,
right?
absolutely.
That's Dustin's job.
To be fair, Dustin and I have had a conversation, so the it will eventually get
Mhm.
there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've been trying to
Oh,
have
yeah.
a few conversations with people to make sure like I really understand the characters and give things to come out during play. And
Yeah.
that's and I enjoy some of that conflict and then getting to hopefully try and resolve some of those conflicts as they come up, right? You know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Dustin and I have also had some conversation.
I bet.
But for me, same, right? Would not have reacted differently. It would have been awkward.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's gay angst for you.
Yes.
Awesome. I'll just go next. I think that the way that Eliza reacted to Lexa being able to get to the restricted place, get the restricted books, is definitely a lot different than how I would react to it. I would just be like, oh, I guess that's how things work. But of course, Eliza's really surprised.
Eliza's gonna investigate.
Yeah, I mean, she's gonna do the best she can, but I don't know that there's gonna be an answer. And that's something that I'm actually looking forward to, is her recognizing that all these things that she does, like giving gifts to the teachers, to the professors, and kissing their ass and all this other stuff, like it's supposed to like help her academically, because it worked in high school, but it's not going to work at Yale. And she's going to get a realization of that, and I'm actually looking forward to that, because I think that's really going to challenge some of her beliefs, and that's going to get her to take a look at some of her flaws, and be a little bit more open about things, and less judgmental. So looking forward to it, actually. Jelly?
I know you guys don't really think of me this way, but I am kind of quiet, shy, and reserved in a lot of ways. And
Not with us.
because when I'm in my element,
When you're with your trees.
when I'm with my trees, with my peeps,
Oh, we're
when
the
I'm
trees.
feeling confident, when I'm doing my thing, the thing that makes me come alive, when it's like when I put on my gamer hat or my rabbi hat or something, I can really just do that thing I have to do. But if it's a personal thing that has a personal stake in me with a one-on-one person, I can be super awkward and shy. And so I think I do react kind of like Jelly in that case. Now, the last question, I believe, is applicable to the game master also. So what did you appreciate about your play or someone else's play? Just kind of chance to give some gratitude and some recognition.
I'll go first. I was having a hell of a time watching Lexa and Riley be totally awkward on that date and do the barrel roll.
I mean, it wasn't a date. It wasn't a date.
No, and the thought in my / Riley's head with the Shake Shack and I'll pay for it date?
That's a date. 100%.
Well, whatever you want to call it, it was awkward moment after awkward moment, and I loved it. I love awkward moments. And I was I had myself muted because I was laughing up a storm, and I'm like, I don't want to overwhelm the stream with my laughter.
There was a moment, I can't remember if it was there or some. I saw your face, Tennille, and I was just like, having an awkward date, but having an awkward date with an audience.
Awkward.
super awkward. It was awesome. I loved it.
I feel like, and I'll piggyback off of what Tennille's saying also with that about appreciating that, and I actually appreciate kind of the two of you embodying these characters and doing that in this. We've kind of like hinted at a little bit, like maybe there's something budding between, and we got to see a little bit of that today, I think, through the play, and that was I think it's gonna inform decisions or things in the future now also, right? As
Especially when shit hits the fan.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. So I'm curious to see how that plays out. And I appreciated that as well. And I appreciated you, Tennille, as well, for taking a little bit of a backseat today so that could take a little more front and center. So I'm glad that you enjoyed that as well.
I had fun kind of doing supporting cast to the main story today. I got to do a lot more than Eliza, but it was fun. And I really appreciated seeing Lexa's uncomfortable, not confident self throughout the game, right? Like talking to the trees, like, how do I do that? Or thank you, book. Because usually to put together a confident one who knows how to maneuver and knows social cues and all. And it was fun to see Alexa kind of, with a growing edge there. And yeah, I'll just ditto the flirting on the island was beautiful.
Disaster
For both of you.
lesbians for the win.
Really?
We've got like an OT3 disaster lesbians. When did this become Gays of Our Lives?
You play with a bunch of queer people.
You do.
That's what you get.
I mean,
I'm okay with it. I'm not saying that we can't. For any, I'm loving it. It's great.
And
the players tonight are Gays of Our Lives cast members.
This is
I was
true.
just realizing that like all of us are Gays of Our Lives cast members right now.
Mhm.
And one thing I appreciate is that, like, on Gays of Our Lives, we try to focus on games that are explicitly queer, but we're showing how you can queer a game that is not meant to be that way, and play with people who are straight, and it's okay.
And I think Menachem in particular, I know you said that before, is like bringing queer elements into your games also is something that you can, I think one of the Bodhana, the Save Against Fear, was it the Save Against Fear panel that you were talking about it? Yeah. So I enjoy, like, the captain character also is kind of has those masculine features, but also, like, I was kind of playing up this, like, gender bending dress with them and everything a little bit. Like, it's not just a straight binary or anything like that. So I've been enjoying bringing some of those elements and thinking about that when making main characters inside the game also.
I mean, something we would love to see is that every game just has people who have genders and sexualities.
Right.
It's not, doesn't have to be the focus. It's great to play the focus, and there's lots of reasons we do that, obviously, but it's also great to, like, make things normal.
Yeah.
Right. The characters in the game, they just have a sexuality.
Well, I think that's one thing, like, playing in a city also, that's a lot of fun, is that the diversity of people that exist within a city and on a college campus as well, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't go yet.
Nope.
I appreciate Kayla for going on this crazy, awkward ride with me. And it'll be interesting to see how it keeps playing out. Definitely.
Awkward broom ride.
I was gonna say the same thing. I appreciate that Laura was like, let's hear it. When I was like, I think I'm gonna make Lexa secretly in love with Riley, because that seems to be, like, the best way to get her to, like, further lean into, like, her Lexa's motivation and fears are diametrically opposed to each other. So Riley being not coming from a family who does magic is the most present fulcrum that can shift on. And so, yeah, thanks, because if you would have said no, it would have been, so who knows? Maybe there will be a wedding at someday. Who knows? We've got 4 years.
We're still in college. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Right now it's still very awkward, and it's probably going to be painful at some point. So
yeah,
because Lex is not a good person all the time.
Get your popcorn gifts ready, folks.
And the tissues.
And the tissues.
As
And
we've
you
hinted
yourself
at,
for
things could play out many different ways, right?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Lex is probably terrified about that fucking dream, and is now probably very much thinking about what to do, and needs to talk to Calvin, and Calvin has still not responded. So who knows where Calvin is?
Disappeared too.
Right?
Yeah,
Suspicious.
We'll have to find out what the other two are up to in this meantime.
We'll find out next time. Where have Calvin and Roberts been?
Before we fully wrap up, let's do I just realized I want to do the few kids on brooms checkouts thing. We didn't have too many roles for this, so let's give out some adversity tokens for play. We kind of talked about it a little bit. First, I think Lexa, for you playing into your fears of your character, and trying to walk that line. And I think I have down here on your sheet, your fear is diverging from being a descendant family. So something I thought you played well. So take an adversity token for that. Does anybody want to play for anyone else that they really played their character, or their character's fears well, that they want to give out some adversity tokens here?
I'm going to give a token to Eliza, just because the facial expressions in the library, Eliza didn't even have to say anything, but it was all emoting. So.
All right. So Eliza, take an adversity token.
There should be a token for Riley's fake move. Because that could have gone bad.
It could have gone really bad. I know. I was like, oh, shit. I really hope Dustin doesn't make me roll if I have to catch her.
Could have gone swimming.
Right.
Could have gone swimming. That would have been a whole
knowing how Riley's rolls go. Yeah.
Right.
Your rolls
Riley doesn't like the water right now or anymore.
Right.
I mean, wasn't in the last game the whole pool situation?
She ended up in the pool with the broken arm.
With a messed up arm.
Yeah.
Couldn't swim. And yet we're going broom riding over the wall.
Well, Alexa's probably also teaching Riley how to swim. No big deal.
That's the next piece.
Using magic, of course.
So Laura, mark down a adversity token for that as well. So.
All right.
Does anyone want to give one to Jelly or?
Yeah, I think Jelly's encouragement of talking to the inanimate objects was great.
You were in your element at that point, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And up in the tree, just
compliment them.
Yeah. And the thumbs up with the book. It was very Jelly. It was very spot on.
Thank you.
Excellent. And then I don't know if everybody has their class schedule to take marks. I'm going to say again, everyone take a mark in history of magic.
Ooh, I'm at 2.
I think we score there.
We should all be 2.
You did some research and everything, kind of using your skills in that. So I think everyone should get a mark in that. All right, so I'll review between sessions. I have to reread that section in the book, how the like
What it-
level ups work. I think you get like a +1 into that magic type, like when you're casting spells
Okay.
and stuff, when you level up your first 2 marks there. So is anybody on their class schedule, they think they did something or cast spells from something that are deserving of any other class marks at this point from today's session?
Would it be a stretch that I was teaching Lexa like
Oh,
proper ways to talk to inanimate objects for magical theory?
For magical theory,
Because I don't know the course description.
yeah, I'm gonna say that's like I'm thinking of magical magical theory is a little more
like theories.
well, I'm thinking of like mathematical theories.
Yeah, that's what
right?
I meant by
Theoretical
theories.
math,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You know, if you were trying to do research and try and find some new way to cast that nobody's cast before or something like that, or these portals and things like that. I would say maybe that's a little more related than
Okay.
just I take that as like a skill that you have of
Yeah.
the being able to talk with inanimate objects. So yeah. So nobody's got anything else, it seems like.
I mean,
it
I
would
had
be a
I-
stretch for me with the charms and the faking out. But-
Yeah, I think that's a little bit of a
That is a
stretch, but
stretch.
that was good though. That was definitely good.
I had rugby practice, but we didn't like show it.
I didn't
So.
really use magic at all. So
Yeah. Well, and other things too, potentially. So like I said, that's why I'm giving everyone a point in the magical history,
Mhm.
because of like research and things like that could be
Yeah.
related to that for sure as well.
Mhm.
So it doesn't necessarily be like actively casting a spell, but so
Yeah, I
all right. Well, we'll leave it at that then. And like I said, I'll take a look and let you all know. So I guess everybody who's here gets a little
well,
extra bonus.
I do have.
for-
So I have occult studies on my list.
Okay.
I don't know how that applies to the dreams.
Hmm.
I don't think I really did much. Also, partly because I don't really know how occult studies works.
You slept.
I know, and then interpreted
I
the
got-
dream,
Yeah.
but I don't know if I necessarily like know. I feel like I need to understand that more. Lexa does.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. You didn't really do much research
Mhm.
into like the history of witches
Right.
or anything like that. So I would rule that a little more, the occult studies.
that makes sense.
You know, some of those traditions and
Man, I need that book back.
I would almost but Laura, you don't have occult studies, do you?
No.
I
Right,
would
'cause
say-
Riley talked to the dead.
right. That
Yeah.
that I would give
That makes
for
sense.
talk
occult
to the
stories.
dead.
perhaps,
Mhm.
yeah.
would be-
Okay,
yeah.
makes sense. Makes sense. Okay.
Maybe Riley should drop charms and do occult studies.
I mean, we're probably, who knows?
You
Like,
you might
yeah,
still
like-
be within the
You might
top
be-
ad
You
window.
might be
Yeah.
Right?
able to.
Right?
We can talk
Yeah,
about it
like
if you want to.
using like
Okay.
like when I think of occult studies, I think of like using a Ouija board or
Mhm.
like having bones and like interpreting the bones or I don't know, like monkey's paw, like different like odd stuff.
That's the kind of stuff Riley was doing at the
And
beginning.
like Lex is gonna be like, what do you didn't tell me you were joining this class.
Mhm.
I like it. It
Okay.
would be great after
All right.
after tonight's session, perhaps. Like all of a sudden, next class, like Riley's just like sits down next to you, like what? But yeah, perhaps.
Okay.
It is on Thursdays,
We'll talk,
so
yeah, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
So yeah, anyone want to add anything else, or
Mm-mm.
we can sign off?
good stuff.
All right. Yes. Thanks everyone for joining us. Thanks for working through our technical difficulties here with us as we had to stop and restart. I really enjoyed it. It sounds like my fellow players here Oh, we got to do our. Sorry, I forgot our checkout. Thank you,
names.
Menachem, for. I was ready to just kind of sign us off. So, Menachem, let's check out here out of our magic circle, and then we will sign off.
All right. So we do that with the names as usual. We say our character names, good night to characters, and then player name, good night to players. And let's just start.
I played Lexa tonight,
Hey, Lexa.
Good night,
Hi,
Lexa.
Lex.
Sweet dreams.
and yeah, God, I don't know. Lexa's probably gonna lose sleep. She's not a fan of these dreams. And my name is Kayla.
Good night,
night,
Kayla.
Kayla.
Sweet dreams to you.
I've been Riley tonight.
Good
Good
night,
night,
Riley.
Riley.
I'm Laura.
Pleasant dreams,
Good
Good
Laura.
night, Lara.
Good evening, Laura.
I've been Eliza Goldenflower. Good night.
Good night.
Good night,
Night,
Eliza.
Eliza.
Good night,
Goldenflower.
Eliza.
And I'm Tennille. Night, everyone.
Night.
Good night,
Good night,
Good night,
Tennille.
Tennille.
I have been Jelly.
Good night, Jelly.
Night,
Night,
Jelly.
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 Yeah, like I'm going to sleep. And my name is Menachem.
Good night, Menachem.
Good night,
Night,
Menachem.
Sweet
Menachem.
dreams, Menachem.
And I've been your game master for this evening.
Good night, Game Master.
Good night,
Night,
Game
Game
Good
Master.
night, Game
Master.
Master.
And my name is Dustin. Good night, everyone.
Good night, Dustin.
Night, Dustin.
Night,
Dustin.
Dustin.
And
Good
thank
night,
you all
audience.
for joining us. Yes. Good night. Very grateful for you sticking with us if you've
Mhm.
made it this far.
Find
And we
out
will
next
see you.
week.
Yeah, find out next week.
Will there be a kiss?
Menachem's gonna keep pushing until there is.
No, it's good plot building.
Well,
What
you
is-
know.
What have Roberts and Calvin been doing? Are they hiding? Are they together?
Where's Lashes?
How freaked out is Calvin about the everything? And what's up with Lashes? Find out next time.
And what will the smoke tell us
Oh,
as we perform our first divination
that's right.
ritual from one of the societies? One of our first, well, our second large ritual from a society. Will this one go wrong also, I suppose? And what lies in the smoke? So find all that out next week, next Friday night, here on our Kids on Brooms YaleCapades. Thank you, everybody.
Good night.
Night.